Hi, I'm Jack Lucas, finalist of MasterChef 2014, and welcome to my new series. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make a dish that's perfect for summer. This is my smoked mackerel, beetroot, apple and salad with a maple vinaigrette. With summer upon us, it's nice to be able to rustle together food that tastes amazing, but it's also really good for you, and this salad is just that. So, the first thing we need to do is basically toast off our pine nuts. Now, you could toast them in an oven, or just toast them in a pan, which is what I'm going to do. So, just leave them be, watch them for a couple of minutes, but make sure that you don't let them go too dark, because then they'll start to go a bit bitter. So you just want a kind of lightly golden colour, and then that'll be absolutely perfect. It should take about a minute or so. So while they toast, I'm just going to knock together a very simple dressing. Now, the important thing to remember with dressings is you need something to help the oil emulsify. So I'm using, in this instance, some maple syrup and also some sherry vinegar. So I'm going to use about a tablespoon of maple syrup. Now, to counteract the fact that obviously that's quite sweet, I'm going to use some sherry vinegar and equal quantities of that. Next up, I'm going to use oil. Now, you can use any sort of unflavoured oil. Don't go for an extra virgin oil just because it will be quite overpowering. So I'm going to use rapeseed oil. I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of that. And then to that, we just need to add a little bit of seasoning. So just salt and pepper. And then just give it a quick whisk. It'll come together and form a kind of nicely homogenised dressing. So I'm just going to set that to one side. Now the rest of my components really I've just got to assemble and chop up. So I'm using beetroot. Now you can of course roast them yourselves, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to use the shop bought ones, but just make sure that they're not pickled. Now slice these up into whatever shapes you fancy and pop it into the dressing. And I'm also going to add in some lovely French radishes, which is going to give it a bit of a crunch. Again, slice these up however you fancy, but just remember that you can make this really exciting by chopping everything into kind of different shapes and sizes, and that's what's going to make it interesting. So do mix it up a bit, and of course don't forget to send us a picture if you make it at home. So pop those in with the beetroot, and I can also add in most of my lovely pine nuts now. So I'm going to add in probably 3/4 of those and just going to hold some back for the end. Now I'm also adding in apples, so you don't need a whole apple, so I'm probably going to use about half. Again, just finely slice it however you fancy. So pop in your apple, and again, it's not an exact science, but if you do want to find out the recipe, just head to the website. Into there, I'm also going to add in some mixed leaves. I'm going to pop in a bit of rocket and also some lovely watercress. And I'm adding this straight into the dressing because I want it to coat everything. I want every mouthful to have a nice amount of dressing on it. If you pour the dressing over the top, sometimes you'll get too much and then too little. It's all about getting profile of flavour on every single bite. So into there, I'm just going to flake this mackerel. So this is just your general shop bought, but it's really, really lovely quality peppered mackerel. You can use just normal smoked if you'd rather. And again, just adding this into the mix. And use as much as you fancy. If you don't like smoked mackerel, you can substitute it for other fishes. But mackerel has a lovely earthiness that works really well with beetroot. And then paired with the kind of sweetness of maple syrup, it's just a really lovely flavour combination. So that's essentially the salad done. All that you really need to do now is just coat it in all of that lovely dressing. And what you'll get is you'll get kind of the beetroot leaching out, and you have a kind of purpley sort of colour bleaching through, which looks really, really lovely. So it really is that simple to assemble. Now it's time to plate up. So there you have it, a really delightful summer salad. It's healthy, it tastes amazing. This is mackerel, beetroot, pine nuts with a maple dressing. Really hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.